guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Cassie here, and today I thought it would be fun to do a little more of a get to know me since I now have 800 of you subscribers out there. Thank you so much for subscribing, and I hope this video will be interesting for you. So I guess let's just get started. So what I do for a living is I'm actually a UI/UX designer, aka a interface designer, and what that pretty much means is I create digital products for people to use. So that is my specialty, and digital products could be anything from, for example, video games, where I worked on FIFA most recently, to a digital product that your company uses internally. For example, like a messaging app or something, or Facebook, or using Slack. I don't know if you guys use Slack. Like, all of those things are digital products that people purchase to use, and they need UI/UX designers to actually help them create the interface of the product so people can actually use them. So that's what I specialize in, and that's what my current job title is right now. And then I'm gonna go ahead and start getting into, you know, how I got here and if this was always the type of job career I was thinking of, and it actually wasn't. So let me start from the beginning. Back in high school, I always really liked art class. I didn't really like anything else except for gym class maybe, but everything else to me was really bland and really boring. Art class was something that I always enjoyed, and it was a class that I always took. And I did photography, you know, we dabbled with a bit of Photoshop in that class. We did a lot of like journal cut and paste work. We even did hand sketching. And so I was like, okay, art class is a pretty good course that I like. And then when it came time to actually choose what university you want to go to, I had absolutely no idea. Like, I looked at all of the major schools, SFU, UBC, I looked at some colleges, I looked at Emily Carr University, which is a art and design school here in Vancouver. And that one kind of just stood out to me because I was looking at the course and like the things you can major in all those other schools, and none of them really interested me except for like the communications degree at SFU. But that also didn't feel quite right, and so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna create a portfolio and I'm just going to try for Emily Carr. Like, I don't even know what I would be doing yet. I was thinking somewhere in the realm of advertisement design, but I didn't know anything about advertisement design at that time, but I just thought it would be a cool job. And so I put together like a really not so great portfolio with my art teacher. I had hand developed photography pieces that I took. I had like really random stuff that I painted, some things that I like hand drew. It was honestly such a bad portfolio now that I think about it, but it showed a lot of variety, which is I think what they like to see. And then at Emily Carr, there's also something called Portfolio Day, which is a day that all the students around like the area that wants to attend Emily Carr, they can go there, bring their portfolio piece to show an educator, and then you'll actually get feedback on what your portfolio is like, what you should do to make it better, and they kind of just give you advice. And so I actually did go to Portfolio Day, and I waited like 3 hours or something. It was like a really long line all around the school until it's your turn to actually get your stuff checked. I don't remember what happened during Portfolio Day. Like, I don't remember if I did well, if I didn't do well, but that was the end of that. And then I sent off my application literally an hour before it was due for the portfolio. You have to like answer questions as well, and I did it when I was still in school. And I just sent it off, and you know, it is what it is. I applied to a couple other schools too. But then lo and behold, Emily Carr was actually the very first school that I got a letter from. I just knew. I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick Emily Carr. It's like a well-known art and design school. It's something that seems more interesting to me compared to everything else. And then I was just like, okay, I guess this is it. But before I actually chose to go to Emily Carr, I thought of doing like FX makeup artistry, so that would be doing like movie makeup. That was something I had interest in because I always really liked playing with makeup. And then I also really wanted to be an interior designer as well. They're all kind of like jobs that involve a little bit of art in them that kind of interest me. And so none of those really ended up panning out. My dad was like, no, you're not becoming an FX artist. And then for interior designing, I just I don't know, it seemed like a good idea, but I feel like I didn't really know if that was a really safe job to go into. I didn't know if I could really get a job if I majored in interior designing, and to be honest, why would going to art and design school be any safer? I have no idea. I guess my mind was just thinking advertisement design. I'm gonna do advertisement design. There needs to be that kind of thing in the world because advertisements are everywhere, right? So that's why I picked Emily Carr. It was kind of a safer option compared to everything else. And yeah, so I entered Emily Carr. It's located on Granville Island. At least it used to be, in case you guys didn't know that. So at this time when I got accepted, I was in first year and I honestly did not know anything about design. Like nothing about graphic design. I was not good in Photoshop. I did not know any of the softwares. I mostly dabbled with more like hands-on art where it was more like drawing and taking pictures. Our first year is called foundations year, and you pretty much can try a little bit of everything. You can choose something to major in, I guess, to just like try it out. And so I did photography. I also did like the design one, and then between those two I ended up picking my major, which is communications design. So in the second year is when you pick your major that you're going to actually go on to graduate with. And so communications design is pretty much anything that involves communicating a type of message through like print media, digital media, whatever. And it was that or industrial design. So usually people pick between industrial or communications, and industrial is like building things with your hands, like actual making of like a table, a chair, physical products, versus communications design was more like digital, paper, poster type products. And so that's what I picked, and then I just started doing school. I had a lot of trouble in art and design school. I honestly wasn't really sure if it was right for me because I feel like I was creative as a person, but I wasn't that creative to the point where I can like make really cool and unique things. Like in my head I could think of it, but I couldn't actually make it because I don't really have any technical skills to do it. So that was kind of how I felt all throughout my time in Emily Carr. I felt like the school did a good job teaching you like concepts and like conceptualizing and like thinking about creating a product that has a deeper meaning than just the product, and that's what they're really good at. But then they don't really teach as much like how you can actually create that product through your technical skills. Your technical skills is kind of something you just have to pick up and learn and trial and error as you go, which now that I think about it is actually good because it taught me to really teach myself a lot. You get really good at just having to learn things on your own, or like Googling it, YouTubing it, like trying to find ways to make what you have envisioned, even though it doesn't always turn out as nice as you would expect it to. And so I hit fourth year, and fourth year is our final year where we have like a big final project, and this one project spans the entire year. From the first day to the last day, you're working on this big project, and at the very end you have a huge show where recruiters and, you know, your family, your friends, different people in the industry can actually come to this show, and they can view all of these different products that the grad students have created. And honestly, I think that's probably one of the most like funnest parts about Emily Carr is having that grad show, because you put so much time and love and work into it, and it's really fun seeing what other people have built. That project was kind of the game changer for me. At this point I was always thinking advertisement design, print poster design, and then for my final project I really wanted to create like a digital product that would help students in our school. So we have this huge thing called process books where we have to do in school. You have to like keep track of how you're developing your project from beginning to end, and I wanted to create an app that could help facilitate this process to make gathering documents and like keeping track of your progress to be easier. So it would be like laid out in like a digital timeline that you can look back on and then export and like give to your teacher to actually have. And so that's what my project revolved around, and this is my first time actually designing a digital product. Like prior to that, I didn't really, work on interface design. I didn't work on creating apps. I didn't do any of that. So it was really hard. Like in the beginning, I had no idea what I was doing. I was really just like searching things up as I went along and like kind of following the steps and understanding how a digital product is made. And luckily I had a friend who was a lot better and more advanced than me at it already, and so she kind of helped me along the way. And through that entire process, I was like, whoa, I could actually do this. Like in terms of an artist, I'm not that abstract and unique of an artist. For me, digital design was kind of like that balance between artsy but not too artsy, and that's what I fell in love with, because I really enjoyed the fact that this fake digital product I created could potentially help a lot of students. And after that project, I actually got a lot of interest from recruiters and stuff, and they actually really liked my work. They actually thought that the digital product I created was real, and I think I'm just gonna like, I don't know, like put up a picture, some pictures of like the app that I designed here. But it was actually a fake app, and till this day, like it's in my portfolio, and people, when I'm applying for jobs, they still think that that's a real product that I made, which is how realistic it looked. So I'm really proud of that project. It really showed me that I can do something like this. That's kind of what kickstarted my fascination with and how people use technology. That's how I fell into UI UX design. So now I'm gonna clarify what UI UX design is, because for someone that's not in the industry, they're just letters. UI means user interface design, and then UX means user experience design. Typically in design, there's kind of two different categories. You kind of have to know both of them. But UI design, user interface, is pretty much, if you think of a human body, that would be like the color of their skin, the color of their hair, how they look like, what type of eye color they have, for example. So it's really surface level, vanity related things. So the look of how something is. And then user experience design, it's kind of like the bones and the inner structures of a human body. So how is the body working internally inside? Is everything functioning perfectly fine? Like, are like each portion of the body attached to each other, working cohesively together as like an entire unit? And so if you take that in terms of creating a digital product, the user interface is of course the look of how Facebook, for example, looks like, like the branding of it. It's blue, it's got a lot of white, it's got some gray, the font is a certain typeface. And then if you think about user experience, it's like when you're using Facebook, how do you get to the home page? How do you change your profile settings? How do you upload albums? Those are all like functional things about how you use it. And so together, that's what UI UX design is, and that's pretty much what I specialize in now. So now talking about after graduation, I had, a recruiter contact me. They asked me if I wanted to work for their firm, but then that design company was all the way in Calgary, so I almost moved to Calgary for that job. It didn't end up working out, and then I was stressing out all summer because I wanted to get a job straight away right after I graduated, and it took me 3 months. My first job was a junior web designer, and I learned so much at the job. Like, it's crazy how different being in school is compared to working at an actual workplace, because now I have to collaborate with software engineers, which I never had to collaborate with before, and then you find out there's certain designs that they can't even create just due to budget or time or feasibility. So I've learned a lot from where I started to where I am now, and even till this day I still don't really know what I want to do exactly, because now I'm kind of at that stage in my life where I've done a lot of user interface design, which is like the pretty stuff, but I really like the user experience side of things, which is how people use the products, but I like them both. So yeah, I don't really know where my future is gonna lie, but I do feel really lucky that I kind of fell into this career without even knowing how good of a career it is. The career I have gives me the flexibility to work for any company really, because as a UI UX designer, I can be hired by any industry to help work on a digital product thing. So it can be very versatile, and you learn a lot about each industry as you're working for them. Another great thing is, you know, just the tech life. The tech life is good. The lifestyle that tech industry workers have is nice. I do really believe in like a very communicative, transparent work culture where I don't need someone micromanaging me, and there's that friendliness and openness to talking to your managers really easily and openly. And of course there's the free snacks and like beer Fridays and stuff like that, so that's always a bonus. And yeah, so I'm really happy to be where I am, very, very blessed. I feel like there's still a lot of like growth that I want to do. I'm not really sure which way my career will take, but I'm hoping that whatever I decide on, it's going to be the right thing for me. Alright guys, so that is pretty much what I do for a living. That is it. That's all there is to know for now. I think it'd be also fun to make like another video to talk about all the different jobs I've had in the past, because jobs really shape who you are as a person, and it's just fun and interesting to see what kind of jobs other people have done before they've gotten to their career job, so to say. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to click that like button, click that subscribe button, and I don't know, even ring the bell if you want, which I always hear people say, and I think that just means you'll get to see my videos more often. But yeah, ring the bell, don't ring the bell, it's up to you. It's all good. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.